Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another beautiful afternoon on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University for Lenoir-Rhyne Bears softball. Bears today will host the Coker Cobras. I'll give you the starting lineup for Coker here in just a second as we're starting right off. Leadoff batter for Coker, Chloe Pelham. Fantastic year at the plate so far, and I'll go into that a little more here as we get into it. Kind of a strength-on-strength game, pair of games today, as the Bears pitching staff has been outstanding to this point. Hitting has done well as well, but Coker at the plate has been pretty formidable. 20 home runs in 22 games as a team, and of course Lenoir-Rhyne team pitching ERA of 2.03, led by Lauren Rakes, who's on the mound. Here's the third pitch of the game, and fouled back. Pelham batting .438 on the year, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, 12 doubles. So she is, Pelham, their leading hitter. She'll be at third base today. And again, Lauren Rakes, the National Player of the Week, or Pitcher of the Week last year, in the circle for the Bears. Lauren 8-1 this year so far. 119 strikeouts, leads the nation in Division II, and she has certainly had an outstanding start to the season. Foul back count is 2-2. We're just getting started. Top of the first, doubleheader. Bears against the Coker Cobras. South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams here today, and I imagine that means all South Atlantic Conference teams are in their openers. This is opener weekend, I imagine. As Lauren looks at the wristband, and popped. Looks like it's going to be out of play. Hannah Jennings gives it a quick look, but count will remain 2-2. Bears 15-6. Coming into today, got off to a slow start, if you remember, 2-5, but have won 13 of 14 in their strikeout number 120 on the season for Lauren Rakes. So one away, and Lauren starts off as she has pitched so well during the season so far. As mentioning, the Bears have won 13 of 14, won 11 in a row at one point, lost last weekend to Kutztown State 6-5. Beat them earlier in the weekend, lost on Sunday of last week, and that broke their 11-game losing streak. Swept a doubleheader from Belmont Abbey on Wednesday of this week. So 13 of 14 as they come in to face Coker. 14-6 the Bears are all-time against Coker. And there's a ball and a strike now on Brooklyn Stunis, the right fielder for the Coker Cobras. Stunis batting .256 on the season, and there's a strike. Count goes to 1-2. Mentioned Lauren, National Player of the Week this past week, National Pitcher of the Week this past week. 26 1/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 44 strikeouts. So pretty good, no matter what level. Excellent, actually. Strikeout number 2 of the game, 121 on the year for Lauren. As Bailey Douglas steps in for Coker. Bailey hitting .381. She's the designated player here today. Batting third, 2 away. We're in the top of the first, game 1 of our doubleheader. So you haven't missed anything yet, except for 2 more Lauren Rakes strikeouts. A little bit of wind. It's been blowing out some. And as I mentioned, Coker, 20 home runs so far in this season in 22 games, so they can hit it. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move along today. 1-1 the count, 2 outs here, top of the first, outside. Kylie Linhart behind the plate for the Bears. Laura Beth Wood at first, Julia Mardigan at second, Caitlin Rackert at short, Hannah Jennings at third, Kendall Osborne in left field, Savannah Moorfield, of course, in center, and Cassidy Wall in right. And there's a shot to Kendall, and she's got it for out number 3. So a quick 1-2-3 for the Bears here in the top of the first. And Lenoir-Rhyne will come to plate after we take this break. You're listening to Bears Sports Network. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Bears on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And we're back heading into the bottom of the first. Run through the Lenoir-Rhyne lineup real quick. Leading off and playing center, Savannah Moorfield. At shortstop, Caitlin Rackard. Batting third, Kylie Linhart behind the plate. In right field, Cassidy Wall. Second base, Julia Mardigan. At third base, Hannah Jennings. Lauren Rakes is in the circle as the DP as well. Laura Beth Wood batting 8 at first base. Kendall Osborne, who recorded the last out at the top of the first, is in left field. And first pitch is a ball to Savannah Moorfield. Savannah, hopefully, this at bat will become the all-time leader at Lenoir-Rhyne in hits. She also would extend her hitting streak to 22 games, which would be the longest in program history. And the count quickly is 2-0 to Savannah Moorfield. Brandy Davis on the mound for Coker. She's 2-4 on the year, 4.57 ERA. And there's one up the middle, and there you go. All-time leader in hits at Lenoir-Rhyne, Savannah Moorfield, and a 22-game hitting streak, which is also a Lenoir-Rhyne record. So great start for the Bears and a nice moment for Savannah Moorfield. She's played such good softball for us for a number of years now, and didn't put any pressure on herself. She took care of it in the first at bat, so good for her. And that will bring Caitlin Rackard to the plate, freshman from, if I can keep my papers from blowing away, freshman from Lexington, North Carolina. So Savannah Moorfield now our all-time hit leader for the LR Bears, Claudeville, Virginia. Graduate student, and what a nice way to start the day, certainly for her, but also for the Bears after a great first inning in the circle by Lauren Rakes. 2-0 the count. Now to Caitlin Rackard. And here's the pitch. Moorfield tried to go in the bunt, and they're not going to get Moorfield. Oh, and there's a throw over the head of the first baseman. Can Moorfield get in? No, they're going to hold her up. Probably a good call. It's early in the game. It would have been a close play at home had she come. Of course, Savannah's got a lot of speed, and that gets her, however, to third base with no outs. So E1 on a throw gets Rackard to first. And Kylie Linhart, who has a chance today to etch her own name in the record books as she hit her 44th home run of her career against Belmont Abbey. Has a chance now. She's tied for second with Jody Mizell. And there goes Rackard to second. They throw it. Savannah gave it a look, came back. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Kylie Linhart. As I mentioned, 44 home runs. Ties her with Jody Mizell for second all-time for the Bears. Sarah Atkins-Cook, since 2012, has been our leader in home runs with 46. So that number certainly in danger. Maybe today, but absolutely over the course of this season. And there's a strike to Kylie, senior from Lincolnton, North Carolina. Actually, graduate student, my mistake. With the COVID shutdown, and they really lost their season back in the spring of 20 in the NCAA all across all levels. Sort of gave people a pass as far as eligibility. So quite a number of student athletes around the country took advantage of that, as did Kylie and Savannah Moorfield for Lenoir-Rhyne, and so we're very happy they did, as they're two of the best hitters in Bear history. 2-1 to count. Nobody out. Bears threaten early. Runners on second and third. Here's a pitch from Davis, and that's a little bit outside. Bears get tomorrow off. We'll host Limestone on Monday. Game 1, first pitch at 2 p.m. Home on Thursday, hopefully if the rain holds off. Play a doubleheader against Erskine on Thursday, that at 1 o'clock. Foul back by Kylie. And the count goes to 3-2. Just getting going here, but the Bears are threatening. Scoreless in the bottom of the first. Hitting an error and a stolen base have Bears on second and third. Full count to Kylie Linhart. And that's high, bases are loaded. So a little bit of a rough start there for Brandy Davis, the Coker pitcher. Single to Moorfield. Davis overthrew the first baseman on Caitlin Rackard's sacrifice bunt attempt. Rackard reached, then stole second, and now Kylie Linhart is walked, and that has bases loaded for Cassidy Wall. And there's a fly ball right. Is she going to be able to get there? Yes, and Moorfield will tag and score. Kylie Linhart heads up run, gets to second, so sacrifice fly to right field for Cassidy Wall, and the Bears take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. That will bring up Julia Mardigan. I was told it was Mardigan, and the PA announcer is saying Mardigan, so I might need to check on that. Bears still with a big threat out there. 1 out, 1 run already in. Caitlin Rackard on third, Kylie Linhart on second as Mardigan steps in. Julie batting .300 on the year. 4 doubles, does have a home run. And has some RBI chance here with 1 out in the bottom of the first. And a swing and a miss. Went upstairs a little bit and ball dropped. So 1-1 to count. And here's a pitch from Davis. And it's ground ball to third. Great stop there, and they're going to get Mardigan at first, but the runners move over, and Caitlin Rackard is able to score. So Lenoir-Rhyne now with a 2-0 lead, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. So a quick lead for Lenoir-Rhyne, and Hannah Jennings steps in. Hannah batting .279 on the year. Has a home run. And an RBI opportunity, too, with 2 outs. And Kylie Linhart on third base. Here's a pitch from Davis, and it's outside. South Atlantic Conference opener for both teams as we move into the conference season. And I believe, well, except for Erskine, I think the rest of our games this year are conference games. And there's a strike low and away. Two-one count, Hannah Jennings. Bears up 2-0, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Here's a pitch from Davis. And a little outside. Count goes to 3-1. Lauren Rakes on deck. Lauren also starting pitcher here in game 1. Imagine we'll see Morgan Beeler in game 2 if the normal pattern holds. And there's ball 4. So another walk by Davis. Puts runners at the corners. And Lauren Rakes comes to the plate. We talk about her pitching because she's gotten off to such an amazing start this year, but she's also batting .294. So good at the plate, just good all-around player. Has now in her 3rd year, East Wilkes High School. And here's the pitch to Lauren. And curveball, man, it's called strike. Not sure Lauren liked that, but I guess if you're the pitcher, you're not going to say too much to the home plate umpire because you want those calls too. 2 outs here. Bottom of the first, Bears, quick 2-0 lead, trying to get more. And that one outside, ball 1. If you just joined us, Savannah Moorfield led off the bottom of the first with a single, which makes her the all-time hit leader here for Lenoir-Rhyne softball, and also extended her hitting streak to 22 games, which is a record as well. So nice start for Savannah. And, of course, if you follow Bear softball, she's been at the top of the order for a long time and plays an excellent center field and is just, kind of prototypical leadoff hitter. Get hits anywhere to the field, good speed, has some power, and certainly glad to have her here throughout her career. Here's a pitch to Rakes, 2-1 to count, and foul tip. Jennings took off with that one, but will trot back to first base. Rakes, this past week's National Pitcher of the Week. 26 1/3 innings, 44 strikeouts, only allowed 2 earned runs. That's pretty amazing. And pop foul back this way. Harmlessly falls in the green grass. Beautiful spring type day here. Never know. We've gotten some of our biggest snows in my lifetime in March, but that's certainly not happening over the course of the next week. And another one fouled back by Lauren. So she's in there battling with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Coker, as I mentioned at the start, formidable hitting lineup. Team ERA is 370, so as I mentioned, it's kind of their strength against our strength. Lenoir-Rhyne team ERA at 2.03, so Lauren Rakes has got a pretty good lineup in front of her. There's a little pop to the shortstop. It's going to be an easy play, and that will end the inning. So Bears strike first with 2 runs, helped by a couple of walks and an error. And we will head to the top of the second with the Bears leading 2-0. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by NBA Roofing.
I love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found an expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Kayla Oswell will lead off the top of the second for Coker. Oswell starting at first base today and takes a first pitch strike from Lauren Rakes. Lauren with 2 strikeouts in the first inning, giving her 121, national leading 121 on the year. And there's strike number 2. Quick lead for the Bears. A couple runs in the bottom of the first. And there's strike 3. So, another strikeout for Lauren Rakes, her third of the game. And Delaney Eves will step in. Eves batting .286 on the year. A couple of home runs, 4 doubles. And as I mentioned, this Coker team has hit 20 home runs in 22 games. So they have some power. And the wind has blown out some today and is currently blowing out. So Lauren's going to have to stay focused here. As so far this season, just incredible start to the year for Lauren Rakes. And low, ball 1. Lauren 8-1, 1.42 ERA. And just can't be much better than she's been so far. There's a fly to left that's going to be out of play. Kendall Osborne gives it a quick look and will walk back to her spot in left field. Malik Ellis handling all the really important work today. I just get to talk. He does everything that matters. So glad to be teaming up with him again today. Counts 2-2 now on Delaney Eves. Eves starting at shortstop. And there's strike 3. So strikeout number 4 for Lauren Rakes, and she keeps piling them up. Ariana Fair, second baseman, steps in for Coker. She's batting .306 and takes a strike. The scouting report on Fair must be that she likes to bunt, because both Jennings and Wood have creeped in quite a bit from their positions at third and first, respectively. And it steps back a little bit now. And there's a ball. Count goes to 1-2. 2 outs here. We're in the top of the second. Bears lead 2-0. And Lauren Rakes looking to close out the second the way she did the first. That was a ball. Lauren looked like she wanted that one. Takes her time in the circle. Looks into the dugout. Checks the wristband. And here's the pitch. And there's strike 3. So Rakes strikes out the side. 5 strikeouts in 6 at-batters so far in this Game 1 of our South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Bears leading 2-0. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
And welcome back, everyone. Bottom of the second. Lenoir-Rhyne Bears hosting Coker today, South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Bears lead 2-0. Lead-off single got things going for the Bears in the the bottom of the first. And in addition to starting a 2-run rally, Savannah Moorfield became the all-time hit leader at Lenoir-Rhyne and also extended her hitting streak to 22, which is a Lenoir-Rhyne record as well. So good start, and congratulations to Savannah Moorfield. Laura Beth Wood stands in. Laura Beth certainly has some power. Only one home run this year, but she can knock it out, and the wind has been toying with blowing out past the center field fence. So we'll see if Laura can get into one here. And there's a ball. Count goes to 3-0. Brandy Davis in the circle for Coker. Got off to a bit of a rough start. Walked a couple in the first inning, and also had a error that didn't help herself, trying to get Caitlin Rackard on a sacrifice at first and threw the ball over the head of the first baseman. Rackard ended up coming around to score. So Davis looking to tidy things up a little bit here. Wind's picking up on us. Up top, and our little. And there's ball 4 to Laura Beth Wood. So another walk by Davis. Gets the leadoff runner on for Lenoir-Rhyne. See if Laura Beth gets a runner. Occasionally they will run for Laura Beth. She wears a knee brace. So she's trying to be careful, but it looks like she's going to stay in there for now. As Kendall Osborne steps in. Davis looks like she's got some dust in her eye. Kendall only batting .220, but really solid play in left field. And she's got some timely hits and could use one here. See if the Bears can extend this early 2-0 lead. If you're just joining us, it's just getting going here. Bottom of the second, game 1 of our doubleheader. South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams. And here's a pitch from Davis. Osborne squares again. Pulls the bat back, count goes to 1-1. Bears off tomorrow, host Limestone on Monday. South Atlantic Conference games. The game 1 first pitch there would be 2 o'clock. Host Erskine later on in the week if the rain holds off. And there's a bunt, nice bunt. Osborne, they're going to get Osborne at first, but Wood's able to advance to second, so sacrifice works for the Bears. And Lenoir-Rhyne has a runner in scoring position as we go back to the top of the order. And Lenoir-Rhyne's all-time hit leader, Savannah Moorfield, steps in. Has already extended her hitting streak to 22 games, also an LR record. And see if she can get a run across here. Bears already leading 2-0, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And a little bit outside. Beautiful day out today. Lots going on campus. In fact, the Bear baseball team's also playing Coker. And there's a shot to left, and it's dropped. Boy, that was going to be a pretty nice play. And is Laura Beth going to be? No, she's safe. Wow. That was I think everybody kind of hesitated. It was a Sure looked like that Sierra Watts was going to make that catch out in left field, but it bounced out of her glove. And I don't know how they'll score it here. Call that an E7. But Moorfield advances to second base on the play. Laura Beth Woods safe at third. So now, with one out, Bears have runners at second and third. And Caitlin Rackard steps in. Rackard squared a bunt to advance Moorfield back in the first, but she's batting .338. And I imagine she will not be punting here. The Bears' chance to kind of break this thing open a little bit early. Caitlin, freshman from Lexington, and she has played a very good shortstop so far here early in her career, and is also, as batting second in the lineup, will tell you, has done a great job at the plate too. She pops that, flies it to left. I don't know if it's going to be playable or not, and it is, and Laura Beth Wood's going to tag, and so will Moorfield, and the Bears push another runner across on a sac fly by Caitlin Rackard. And the Bears take a 3-0 lead. So, second sac fly of the game for Lenoir-Rhyne. Cassidy Wall had one back in the first as Kylie Linhart pops one back here. I see Kylie. It would be nice to see Kylie get into one here. Tied for second all time on the Bears home run list with Jody Mizell chasing Sarah Atkins-Cook for the top spot. Sarah with 46, and that record is held since 2012. So a lot of games left to go. So Kylie certainly has a great shot to beat that record. Be nice to see her get closer today. And swing and a miss, and there's strike three. So Bears get another run as Linhart goes down on strikes to end the inning, and will head to the top of the third. Bears lead 3-0. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Sierra Watts will lead off the top of the third for the Coker Cobras. Trailing here 3-0, game one of our South Atlantic Conference opener for both the Bears and the Cobras. Watts takes a ball outside. Sierra starting in left field today for Coker here in game one. Lauren Rakes, pretty easy first couple innings. 5 strikeouts and 6 batters faced. Nation leading 124 now in the early part of the year. Well over half the schedule still to play. And Lauren Rakes is really lining up to have a amazing year in the circle. 3-0 the count now, though. First real sign of, well, being off a little bit. Has not walked many batters this year either. And they had some base on ball problems early in the season after that road trip to Florida. Of course, their weather's bad that time of year. You don't know how much you're going to be able to get outside early in the season, at least here, and get some real good outdoor prep in. But Bears certainly bounced back after that, having won 13 of 14 now and leading Coker here. And there's strike three. So after falling behind 3-0, Lauren Rakes comes back and gets her 6th strikeout of the game. 1 out here in the top of the third. And Kelsey Golly, the catcher for Coker, steps in. Golly, a couple of doubles so far this year. So she's got some power, and there's power throughout this Coker lineup. They can hit it. So Lauren's got her work cut out for her. 39 doubles, 20 home runs in just 22 games. So Lauren looks in the dugout. Count 2-0 now. And there's a swing and a miss. Bears lead 3-0. And foul back our way. So count goes to 2-2. Bears 3 runs and only 1 hit. Scoreboard shows 2, but I guess I'm a little bit old school when it comes to scorebook keeping. And the count runs full, so Lauren cruising along through the first 2 innings has gone 3 balls to both batters here to lead off the top of the third. Comes back to get the strikeout. Her 7th in 8 batters. As Mackenzie, that is not who they had on their original lineup card. So let me check that. Yes, Mackenzie Harmon. Ava J was listed. And that's not her, so we'll move on. And there's strike 2 quickly to Mackenzie Harmon. So not sure what happened with Ava J. And there's strike 3 quickly. So Lauren Rakes, all you can say is wow as we move to the bottom of the third. 8 strikeouts and 9 batters, and the Bears lead 3-0 here as we go to the bottom of the third. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
And welcome back, everyone, as Cassidy Wall steps in for the Bears here to lead off the bottom of the third. Wall RBI on a sacrifice fly back in the first inning. And there's a pitching change also that we'll need to note here for Coker. It looks like Jordan Goodman, senior from Arbutus, Maryland. And he'll come in replace of Brandy Davis. And the ground ball to short, and the play's made there, and quickly one away for the Bears. So the book's closed on Brandy Davis for Coker. She gave up 3 runs, walked 3, only struck out 1. A couple of errors didn't help her either. So there's a pitching change now as Jordan Goodman is in for Coker. Julia Mardigan steps in for the Bears, and that's outside ball 1. Goodman pitched 25 and 2/3 innings so far this year. ERA is 2.73. Left-hander, so change it up a little bit there. And there's a ground ball to the hole for Mardigan, and she'll trot into first base with a 1-out single. And the Bears back in business here with 1 out in the bottom of the third, and Hannah Jennings coming to the plate. Hannah walked back in the first inning. Has a chance to get something going here for the Bears with a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the third, game 1 of our doubleheader. Here's the pitch from Goodman. And right back to her. They're going to try to get 2. They get the lead runner, but Jennings easily safe at first. So fielder choice for Hannah Jennings as she is safe at first. And Mardigan is out. 1-6 at second base. So 2 outs now. Lauren Rakes at the plate. Off to a great start once again in the circle. Popped out to the shortstop in her first at bat to end the first. So see if she can get something going here with 2 outs, and takes a ball. Always hate to say things like this, but he has 8 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. And it's just a continuation of how she's pitched, particularly recently, the last few weeks. National Pitcher of the Week last week. And Jennings takes off, and the ball's going. Second baseman there, Fair, backed up the throw, went a little wide, and Jennings stands at second with a stolen base. And now Rakes with an RBI opportunity here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Bears lead 3-0, looking to add 1 on here as Lauren Rakes faces Jordan Goodman. The 2 pitchers facing each other here. And after, I guess, some thought and deliberation, pitch is called a strike. And the count goes to 2-1. And there's a foul off towards the Visual Arts building here. And the count goes to 2-2. How many foul balls have hit that roof over the years? I'll just say a lot. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Hannah Jennings at second. Lots of 2s out there. And here's the pitch to Rakes. That's outside. And Jennings is going to go to third. So ball in the dirt there. And the Coker catcher, Kelsey Golly, had a little bit of trouble with it. And Jennings takes advantage to get to third base. And a lot closer now with Lauren Rakes at the plate. 3-2, 2 outs. And here's the pitch. And line to second. Nice grab there by the Coker shortstop, Delaney Eves. It's the second time Lauren's lined out to her. And the result has been the same. So, will Bears strand a runner at third base in Hannah Jennings, but still hold a 3-0 lead as we go to the top of the fourth. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
And we're back here as top of the order for Coker. 9 up, 9 down for Lauren Rakes so far. He start the top of the fourth, as Lauren does with a strike. And there's quickly strike number 2 as Chloe Pelham, Cobra third baseman, steps in. Chloe, a strikeout victim back in the first. In fact, only one person's made a contact out so far, that being Bailey Douglas. She should bat third here in this inning. There's the ball, count 1-2. So the reigning national pitcher of the week, Lauren Rakes, has not slowed down with 8 strikeouts and 9 batters. And there's ball 2. Did have a couple of 3-ball counts last inning. Was able to get out of both of those with strikeouts. And it counts 2-2 here to the Cobra third baseman, Pelham. Entered today's game batting .438. 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, 12 doubles. So obviously has some speed there also. And count 2-2, she faces Rakes. That one's high on the inside a little bit. Count goes full. South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams. Coker comes in today at 10-12 overall. Bears 15-6, winners of 13 out of 14. And Pelham stays alive. Another foul ball. A decent amount of wind just about the entire game so far. Just can't decide which way it wants to blow. There's a fly ball to center. Looks like Moorfield's going to be able to catch it, and she does, and one away here for Coker in the top of the fourth. Moorfield making the grab if you're just joining us. Savannah led off the bottom of the first with a single to become the Bears' all-time hit leader, and also extended her hitting streak to 22 games, which is a record itself. So great start to the day for Savannah Moorfield and the Bears in general as they lead 3-0 here in the top of the fourth. And a strike to Brooklyn Stunis, the right fielder for Coker. Here's a pitch from Lauren. And swing and a miss, strike 2. Boy, she moves the ball around well. She'll pull the string on it. Works the plate well. Has movement on her breaking pitch. And she just keeps batters guessing. Yeah, it was a little high and outside. Junior from Hamptonville, North Carolina, Lauren Rakes, East Wilkes High School. And it's good of an all-around player, pitcher and hitter, that the Bears have had. Count still 1-2. Nice crowd today. Of course, wouldn't expect anything different. Beautiful day to sit outside and watch softball. Ooh, and that's ball number 2. You might have heard the Bear faithful felt like that was a strike. Lauren may have felt that as well. She takes her time, as does Stunis. She steps back into the box. Count 2-2. Here's the pitch. And there's strike 3. So Stunis goes down on strikes for the second time today, and Bailey Douglas, the designated player for Coker, will step in. Douglas batting .381, flew out to left back in the first inning to end the first inning, and takes strike 1 here. And in the dirt there in front of the plate, nice little stop by Kylie Linhart, and count goes to 1-1. Spring break this coming week for Lenoir-Rhyne and for myself, Joe Smith, as well. Looking forward to that week off. But plenty of softball, Bear softball, as Lenoir-Rhyne will host Limestone on Monday. Game 1 first pitch at 2 o'clock, and supposed to be some rain later in the week, but if that holds off, the Bears will host Erskine on Thursday with a 1 o'clock first pitch there. 1-2 now the count. To Douglas. 2 away here in the top of the 4th. Bears lead 3-0. Here's a pitch from Rakes, and foul back to the screen. I'm going to say the scoreboard said 3-2, and they've changed that to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And here's the pitch from Rakes. And in the dirt a little bit there. Count goes to 3-2. Lauren a little frustrated with herself. A little encouragement there from Hannah Jennings and Laura Beth Wood. As ball is scuffed, I guess, goes back to the Lenoir-Rhyne dugout. And 3-2 the count now to Bailey Douglas. Here's a pitch from Rakes. And foul back. So Douglas in there battling. And fouled off well beyond the third base line fence. And the count means 3-2. So Bailey Douglas and Lauren Rakes in a bit of an extended one-on-one battle here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Bears leading 3-0. And there's strike 3. Douglas started to trot to first, but the home plate umpire quickly ended that trek as he called Douglas out on strikes, and that will be the end to the top of the 4th. So the Bears, behind 10 strikeouts so far by Lauren Rakes, will take a 3-0 lead to the bottom half of the 4th inning. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
I love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found the expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we head now to the bottom of the fourth. Bears leading 3-0. Joe Smith with you this afternoon, along with Malik Ellis. And here's a pitch from Jordan Goodman. She came in relief of Brandy Davis after a couple of innings. Goodman, a little bit of trouble in the third, but was able to get out of it and keep the Bears lead at 3-0. Laura Beth Wood stands in. She walked and scored back in the second of the Bears' third run, and quickly is in the hole here, 0-2 against Cobra's pitcher, Jordan Goodman. Game one of our doubleheader, South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams. As I suspect all South Atlantic Conference teams probably opening on this weekend. Bears baseball also playing Coker. Those South Atlantic Conference, well, I guess the opener of that series was yesterday evening, and the Bears won easily, I believe, their 15th win in a row, this being Bear baseball. I think 17-4, I believe, was the final. So Bear baseball off to a great start this season, and Lenoir-Rhyne softball having won 13-14 with a 3-run lead here. Count goes to 2-2 against Laura Beth Wood. Wood, a junior from Madison, North Carolina, North Stokes High School. And here's the pitch from Goodman. And it's high and outside. Count goes full. So Wood walked back in the second, looking to do the same here, or certainly a hit would be nice as well. Imagine she'd prefer the hit over the walk, but getting on base regardless is the goal. And here's the full count pitch from Goodman. And fouled into the Coker dugout. Boy, that was a pretty hard shot by looking in there. Not much of an opening there to get the ball into. And one of the Coker players is kind of standing at the entrance, kind of surprised she didn't get pegged. She picked up a glove now. Said, hey, I'm going to be ready next time. So count remains full, Laura Beth Wood. And here's the pitch, and grounds to the pitcher. Goodman makes the play, and Wood is out 1-3 here to start the bottom of the fourth. Kendall Osborne steps in. She bunted Wood over. In the bottom of the second, Wood ended up coming around to score the Bears' third run. So Kendall 0 for 0 technically in the scorebook, but that sacrifice helped manufacture a Bear run, and she'll see if she can get something going here with one out in the bottom of the fourth. And there's a swing and a miss as Jordan Goodman gets ahead, the Coker pitcher. And here's a pitch from the left-hander. And outside, ball one. Coker, outstanding year so far at the plate. Pitching struggled a little bit, and we've seen some of that. Of course, a couple errors didn't help Brandy Davis out much either. There's a ground ball to third. Nice snag there by Chloe Pelham. And that's quickly 2 outs for the Bears here in the bottom of the 4th. We'll go back to the top of the lineup as Savannah Moorfield steps in. Single and score back in the 1st. Became the Bears' all-time hit leader with that single and also extended her hitting streak to a school record 22 games. So she got some of those records out of the way quick. Reached in an era back in the 2nd. So her 3rd at bat, and that's a nice single there to center field. And Savannah Moorfield with another hit and adds on to her school record number of hits. Will stand on first with 2 outs, and Caitlin Rackard at the plate. Rackard reached an error and scored back in the 1st, had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 2nd. So 2 outs here. Bears trying to get something going, add to that 3-0 lead as they face Jordan Goodman of Coker. And first pitch, ball 1. Beautiful day. Have a couple of those lined up here. And there goes Moorfield, and she's going to get there easily. Kelsey Golly bobbled the ball a little bit behind the plate, but I'm not sure if she would have gotten Savannah anyway. And Savannah goes to second with another stolen base. Check and see. It's her 10th, it looks like, of the season, and she's now in scoring position for Rackard. And Rackard takes one off the calf, I guess it looked like, and she'll trot to first. So Caitlin Rackard on. Well, she's kind of shaking that off a little bit. Talk to first base coach Emily Kinley, herself a former Bear player. Seems like she's all right. Coach Sheena Holler, now with 910 career wins. Of course, passed the 900 mark a couple of weeks ago. What an incredible feat that is. Has done so many great things for Lenoir-Rhyne softball over her career here. Thankfully, 865 of her 910 wins have been as a Bear. As Kylie Linhart steps in. A couple of runners on, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. As Linhart takes a strike. Kylie pursuing her own record. We mentioned Savannah Moorfield. Kylie now with 44 career home runs, tied for second all-time, only 2 behind the Bears' all-time leader, Sarah Atkins-Cook. I believe is expecting her second child, she and her husband. And there's ball 1. And I love watching the videos of Sarah's son. He is going to be quite the player in some sport, but he's getting an early start. Here's a pitch to Linhart. And there's strike 2. Kylie walked in the 1st, struck out in the 2nd, so imagine she might be a little bit frustrated standing in here, but a chance to extend the Bears' lead. 1-2 the count, 2 outs. Bears lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. And kind of reached out for that one, but 2 strikes. She's got to protect the plate a little bit. And the count remains 1-2. Be nice to see the Bears extend the inning a little bit. Give Lauren Rakes a little bit extra time in the dugout, although it hadn't appeared that she's needed much. 10 strikeouts through 4 innings. And here's a pitch to Linhart, and that's well outside, ball 2. Wind picking up. Blowing towards right field. Of course, Kylie's got the power to hit it out anywhere. But I imagine she wouldn't mind a little help from the wind, should that occur. And pops it back foul again. It's like she's just missing. As a young Bear fan in a Jose Altuve jersey, help tracking down some foul balls for us. 2-2 the count. Jordan Goodman on the mound for Coker, and there's a ground ball to shortstop, and that will be out number 3. So Linhart grounds out to short to end the bottom of the third. Bears leave a couple of runners on, can't score, and we will go to the top of the 5th with Lenoir-Rhyne leading 3-0. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing. We'll be right back.
Break great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And to top of the 5th here as Kayla Oswell leads off for Coker. Bears leading 3-0, game 1 of our doubleheader. Oswell struck out to lead off the second. One of 10 strikeouts so far for Lauren Rakes through 4. And there's quickly strike number 2 to Oswell. Game moving along pretty well. Of course, Lauren Rakes has been able to keep this Coker offense in check to this point. And as we mentioned at the top, it's kind of strength on strength against these two teams. Coker coming in with a .314 team batting average, 20 home runs, 39 doubles in 22 games, so they can hit it. But Lauren Rakes, reigning National Pitcher of the Week, has kept them under wraps so far as Oswell fouls back another pitch. Count remains 0-2 to the Cobra first baseman. Rakes looks into the dugout. And here's the pitch. And a little blooper over right in the perfect spot. And Oswell reaches on the first hit of the game for the Cobras. Just a little soft bloop hit there between second and short. And Moorfield lobs it back in, and what do they say? It's a line drive and a box score. So, first base runner today for Coker, first hit as well. As Delaney Eves steps in, she struck out looking in the second, but has a chance to get something going here as Moorfield's going to come in on this fly ball and is going to make the catch. And nice heads-up play. Get it to first to Laura Beth Wood. Oswell is able to scoot back, but nice play by Moorfield there in center to get the first out here in the top of the 5th. Ariana Farrell step in. She also a strikeout victim in the second. And will face Lauren Rakes with a base runner on, first one of the day for Coker. They can hit it. So, as good as Lauren has been, still got to be careful with this lineup. Fair second. Tries to bunt. Goes foul. I don't know if it would have stayed in the air and been fair. Jennings might have had a shot at it. She's certainly expecting a bunt. And she's about halfway between third base and home. And Laura Beth Wood creeps in as well. And there's another brief attempt. Pulls the bat back as the pitch was high, and the count goes to 2-1. Fair batting .306 on the year. 7 stolen bases, so she's got some speed. With Kayla Oswell at first for the Cobras. And showed bunt, strike anyway. And the count goes to 2-2. Sierra Watts on deck for Coker. As the count to Ariana Fair is 2-2. Here's the pitch from Rakes. And goes to the backstop, and Oswell is going to reach second base. Just kind of got between the legs of, what do they say in hockey? 5-hole there, and unusual pass ball, I guess, for Lauren Rakes as Emily Kinley walks out to speak with Lauren. The rest of the infield's gather kind of behind the circle. Excuse me. So, first runner in scoring position. First real kind of issue that Lauren has had so far today. 4 1/3, only one hit. But now Coker with a runner at second has a chance to get on the board here, cut this lead, this 3-0 Lenoir-Rhyne lead. Full count to Ariana Fair. Coker, second baseman. And here's pitch from Rakes. And pops back our way. Heads over into the maintenance area. I don't see Jose Altuve this time. And there's strike 3. Nice comeback there for Lauren as she records the second out of the inning. Her 11th strikeout of the day, and now it'll take a 2-out hit from Sierra Watts for Coker to get a run here in the top of the 5th. Bears leading 3-0. First real threat for the Cobras is Kayla Oswell standing on second. First pitch strike for Lauren. Wind blowing out to center. And there's a pitch and a swing and a miss, strike 2. So quickly 2 strikes to the Coker left fielder. And Lauren has a chance to get out of this inning with no damage. And a swing and a miss, and she does. So strikeout number 12 for Lauren Rakes through 5 innings. And the leadoff single does not come back and hurt the Bears, as we will take a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
And we're back for the bottom of the fifth inning here. Lenoir-Rhyne softball today. Beautiful day in Hickory, North Carolina, campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. As Cassidy Wall, starting in right field here in game one, steps in for the Bears. One of three freshmen in the regular lineup who have made outstanding contributions so far this year. Caitlin Rackert at short, Julia Mardigan at second base, and Wall plays right field primarily, but when she's not in the field, they keep her in the batting order. And the freshman from Davidson starting off her career at Lenoir-Rhyne well. Batting .368 coming into today's game. Had a sacrifice fly and an RBI back in the first. Now to Cassidy Wall. As I said, Bears leading 3-0. Lauren Rakes, outstanding again on the mound so far. And some timely hitting and taking advantage of some Coker mistakes has gotten the Bears out front 3-0. Foul off the third baseline now, and counting to Wall goes 2-1-2. Jordan Goodman in the circle for Coker. Brandy Davis started the game, got through 2 innings, and Goodman has been in since the beginning of the third. Has not allowed a run so far. And that's outside. Count now 2-2 to the freshman right fielder for the Bears. Wind picking up a little bit. And here's the pitch to Cassidy Wall. Not quite. Sorry about that. Here we go. And a little high and outside, so Wall's able to run the count full. If Wall reaches or not, since she's leading off the inning. A little misleading there. But chance for Ryan here to get a good start in the bottom of the fifth and foul past third again. This count remains full. Game 2 to follow, probably 15 or 20 minutes. Say 20 minutes following this game. Hopefully a win in the South Atlantic Conference opener for the Bears. Also for Coker, this weekend all conference play, I believe, begins for the South Atlantic Conference. Nice for the Bears to be home for that. And there's a shot up the middle, a nice solid base hit for Wall to center field, and the Bears with a base runner here to lead off the fifth, single by Cassidy Wall. As Morgan steps in, she singled in the second. An RBI on a ground out to third back in the first inning, scored a Bears' second run. Singled in the third and was thrown out second on a fielder's choice. So it's a chance to get her second hit of the day and see if the Lenoir-Rhyne can put together a rally here, extend this 3-0 lead. And pitches outside from Goodman. Ball one. Goodman settled things down a little bit for Coker in the circle. Davis didn't pitch poorly, but a couple of errors and a couple of walks came back to haunt her a little bit. Bears only with one hit at that point. And there's a fly to center, and center field's going to turn and go, and that's going to be over her head. Wall had to hold up there, but it's going to be an easy double for Mardigan. And the two freshmen get things going for Lenoir-Rhyne here in the bottom of the fifth. Runners on second and third now with nobody out. And Hannah Jennings steps in. So double to deep center by Mardigan. gets Wall to third, and maybe a chance to open this game up a little bit for Lenoir-Rhyne as Jennings steps in, walked in the first, reached on a fielder's choice, and stole the base back in the third, but was stranded at second. Well, stranded at third, stranded nonetheless. There's a strike to Jennings. Hasn't had too much action today at third, but very, very good third baseman in the field. Of course, nobody's really had much action for Lenoir-Rhyne. Only one hit for Coker. I think only 3 balls hit. There's a ground ball to second base. They get the sure out, and Wall will score. So Jennings out 4-3, but will push Cassidy Wall across for the Bears' 4th run. Morgan scoots over to third. And with 1 out, Bears still have a runner in scoring position. And Lauren Rakes steps in. Rakes, incredible start so far to this game. This just follows up the last few weeks of what's really been an amazing start to the year for her. And that's right up the middle, and Lauren's going to get an RBI, help herself out, and a single right under the foot of the pitcher. Gets out to center, and an RBI single for Lauren Rakes. The Bears now lead 5-0. Always nice when the pitcher can help herself out. And Lauren did there. His Bears a little more cushion. Is Coker. Looks like assistant coach Brianna Strickland out to speak to Goodman. Really pitched well in her 2 innings up to this point. But here's the start of her third. Single, double, single. With a RBI ground out sandwiched in there. And a little trouble now for Coker's left-handed pitcher, Jordan Goodman. We have a pinch hitter for Laura Beth Wood. Looks like Leanna Sherrill. Leanna, a senior from right up the road here, West Iredell High School. So we will jot Leanna here in the scorebook. As a pinch hitter, I imagine. We'll see if Wood comes back out in the field. In the top of the 6th. Sherrill batting .250. Only 8 at bats, but a couple of hits, including a double, I believe. And she takes strike 1. A couple of RBIs in limited plate appearances. Has a chance to keep this rally going for Lenoir-Rhyne. Lauren Rake stands at first. RBI single for Lauren. Pushed across the 5th run of the day for the Bears. And certainly hoping to get more here. Here's a pitch from Goodman. And swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-2. Like she took a little bit off of that one. Sherrill got ahead of it a little bit. She'll step in. With 1 out here. Bottom of the 5th, Bears have pushed 2 more runs across, so have a chance to open this game up even more here. And there's a swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Jordan Goodman. And she will get Leanna Sherrill on the strikeout, and Kendall Osborne will step in. Well, no. Looks like they're going to pinch hit for Kendall as well. Corey Hammett, senior from Oxford, North Carolina, will step in. Hammond also batting .250 in limited plate appearances, but has 3 RBIs. So when she's gotten her chance, she's made some good things happen for the Bears. So this will be Corey Hammett. Pinch hitting for Kendall Osborne. 2 outs now. Lauren Rakes at first base. Bears have pushed a couple across here in the bottom of the 5th. Trying to keep that rally going is Corey Hammett. And that's ball 1. Game 2 to follow. South Atlantic Conference opener for both teams. The Bears trying to get off to a 1-0 start and win their 14th game in the last 15 tries. Here's a pitch from Goodman. And there's strike number 1. If Corey reaches, go back to the top of the order. Savannah Moorfield already has a couple of hits today. The first one. And put her at the top of the all-time hit list for the Bears. So, as many really good, solid players that we've had come through this program in the last 20 years or so. Being the all-time leading hitter, leader in hits is certainly an accomplishment. And well-deserved for Savannah Moorfield. Corey Hammett here. And that's a ball. Count goes to 3-1. So Hammett with a chance here. I'm sure that Goodman doesn't want to walk her and face Moorfield again. So Hammett likely to get a pitch to hit. Here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. And there's a strike. A little outside. That probably wasn't a bad look by Hammett. I mean, right there, he needs to be what you want it to be. But now at 3-2, I imagine her strike zone will widen up a little bit. 3-2, 2 outs. Runner on first. Bears lead 5-0. And just got a little piece of it. So Hammett stays alive. As the Lenoir-Rhyne senior from Oxford, North Carolina, battles Jordan Goodman. Here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Hammett's ready. And here's the pitch. And that's ball 4. Bear faithful happy. Coker faithful not so much. That was close, but Hammett draws the walks and will push Lauren Rakes to second base. And what Jordan Goodman probably didn't want to see is Savannah Moorfield stepping in. 2 for 3 so far today, scored a run. And as I mentioned, became the all-time hit leader for Lenoir-Rhyne softball. Here's the pitch. And ball's outside. Don't think you'll see Lauren try anything too daring at second base. She's got to come back in and pitch. Outstanding so far. Corey Hammett stands at first. She pinch hit for Kendall Osborne and drew the walk. And here's quickly 2-0 to Savannah Moorfield. Really doesn't get much easier if you pitch around Savannah. Caitlin Rackard hitting in the 360s coming into today, followed by Kylie Linhart, who's second all-time in home runs. So it's kind of a gauntlet here for Goodman, pick your poison sort of time. And there's a single from Moorfield, and they're going to send Rakes, and she scores easily, and another hit and an RBI, 3-hit day for Savannah Moorfield. So she didn't just become the all-time hit leader. She's racking them up here through game 1. And the Bears take a 6-0 lead. And as I mentioned, Caitlin Rackard steps in. Rackard reached on an error in the first and scored. Sacrifice flying an RBI in the second, was hit by a pitch in the fourth. So she's had a pretty active day without getting a hit. Maybe she can get one here. Corey Hammett stands at second. Savannah Moorfield, after her third hit of the day, stands at first. Moorfield, 22-game hitting streak with today's first inning single, is also an all-time record for Lenoir-Rhyne. And there's a swing and a miss, strike one. Bears now with a 6-0 lead. Scoreboard says 7, but I'm pretty sure that's 6. And that change is made. I don't think by any count of mine. Ball 2 now to Caitlin Rackard. Jordan Goodman, a couple of solid innings prior to this one, but has gotten in some trouble and given up 3 runs so far here in the bottom of the 5th. Goodman looks at the wristband, and here's a pitch. And Rackard ground ball to second. Fair is able to make the play, and the inning is over. But not before Lenoir-Rhyne puts 3 more on the scoreboard and takes a 6-0 lead into the top of the 6th. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
And welcome back. Leading off the 6th inning for the Coker Cobras, Kelsey Golly, catcher. And Lauren Rakes in the circle. Reigning National Pitcher of the Week has done nothing to show that that was an anomaly. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, no walks, 12 Ks so far. And she's been in total control of this softball game. 2-0 the count now, though, to the Coker catcher. Horn hadn't been behind too many hitters today. A couple of 3-ball counts and the lone hit by Kayla Oswell to lead off the 5th. She was stranded. Fly ball and a couple of Ks got Lauren out of that inning. And we're here at the top of the 6th with a 6-run lead. And that's a pop-up. Looks like Jennings is going to be able to make that play, and she does. So out number 1 for Lauren Rakes. And Mackenzie Harmon will step in. Ava J was originally in the lineup, on the lineup card. Harmon, though, stepped in so that change was made at some point. Hopefully Jay is okay. One out here, top of the 6th. Bears lead 6-0. And there's strike number 1 to Mackenzie Harmon. Bears back in action on Monday here as they host Limestone in a South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Game 1 first pitch is 2 p.m. It's supposed to be nice and warm on Monday. And there's strike 2 to Harmon. Bears set to host, Erskine on Thursday. There is rain in the forecast, so hopefully we can get those two in before they travel to Tusculum next weekend for their first South Atlantic Conference road action. And Harmon goes down. Her second strikeout of the day. 13th for Lauren Rakes. 2 away here now in the top of the 6th. Chloe Pelham steps in, and she quickly grounds the ball to Caitlin Rackard. Scoop and throw. And boy, I tell you what, she sure paid a good shortstop for us so far this year. The freshman from Lexington, and quickly Coker goes down 1-2-3. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Bears lead 6-0. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Kylie Linhart steps in to lead off the bottom of the 6th for Lenoir-Rhyne. Bears lead at 6-0, trying to wrap this one up here. Still a little bit of time to go. Coker down to their final 3 outs, potentially, as we head into the top half. But Bears still with a chance to extend that lead from 6-0. Kylie walked in the first, struck out in the second, ground out to short in the 4th. So imagine she's a little bit frustrated. And there's a fly ball, just got under it. Looks like it's going to be playable. And no, shortstop misjudged it. And Linhart stands on first base to lead off the bottom of the 6th for Lenoir-Rhyne. So a sky-high single that dropped between fielders. Like the wind might have gotten it. His shortstop went back to play it, and just at the last minute, he realized that the ball wasn't exactly where she thought it was going to be. But help for the Bears, as Linhart now stands at first with a leadoff single. And there's a shot by Cassidy Wall to right. That ball will be played. And Linhart moseys back to first. And out number 1 for Lenoir-Rhyne. Julia Mardigan steps in. Had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the first. Ground out to short in the 3rd. Single and scored a run in the 5th as the Bears push their lead to 6-0 in that inning. Jordan Goodman still in the circle for Coker. Pitched well until that last inning and gave up 3 runs, and ball gets away from Golly, and Linhart will trot down to second base. So the Lenoir-Rhyne catcher benefits from a little miscue by the Coker catcher. And Bears have a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 6th. Drew Mardigan. And takes ball 2. Morgan, one of 3 freshmen that's really stepped in and done a great job in the field and at the plate for the Bears. Mechanicsville, Virginia. He's been playing second base. Nice, interesting mix of experience and youth in this Lenoir-Rhyne lineup. As a couple of graduate students in Moorfield and Kylie Linhart. Hannah Jennings, a senior. Kendall Osborne, a senior. 3 freshmen. And there's strike number 1. Bears trying to wrap up a win here in game 1 of our doubleheader. Game 2 will follow in about 20 minutes following the end of this game. Coker still has an at bat, though, and so not over, as they say, till it's over. Here's a pitch from Goodman. And, boy, Morgan turned on that one, shot it down past third base. Coach Holler didn't flinch, but that got to her pretty quick. She and the base umpire have a little chuckle. Went between them. And Morgan steps back in. 3-2 the count now. Kylie Linhart stands on second. Bears lead 6-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Here's a pitch from Goodman. And a little slow roller to second. Fair's going to make that play. She's been pretty good in the field today for Coker. Made a lot of plays. Played well defensively. So 4-3 there for Morgan. Gets Linhart over to third base. And Hannah Jennings will step in. Jennings walked in the first, reaching a fielder's choice and stole a base in the third. And a ground out RBI back in the 5th. Hadn't had much action at third. Did make one play last inning. Plays a outstanding third base for us. And looks at that ball outside. Count goes to 2-0. A few walks and a couple errors hadn't helped the Coker pitching staff out much today. But when given a chance and had some opportunities, the Bears have hit the ball too. And there's a fly ball to center. It's deep. And they go back. Oh, and she drops it at the fence. Boy, that's a tough out. Oh, and Jennings going to try to go to third, and she's out. Wow. Well, that's a tough play there. Mackenzie Harmon. And that's a third out. Mackenzie Harmon right at the fence and dropped the ball. So Jennings out at third. And that'll be a 9-5 in the scorebook to end the inning for Lenoir-Rhyne. So Bears strand a runner, I believe, unless they're going to count that as a cross. I'll check on that. It's possible that Linhart scored. But we'll check on that when we get back. Regardless, the Bears will take a either 6-0 or 7-0 lead into the top of the 7th with Lauren Rakes hitting the circle with a chance to throw a one-hit shutout here in Game 1 of our doubleheader against Coker. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing. Brooklyn Stunis will step in against Lauren Rakes. Cameron Bryant is in now. Freshman from Bunker Hill is in at third base, replacing Hannah Jennings. So Bryant, another freshman, who's getting some time for the Bears here. As Lauren Rakes tries to wrap this one up, Bears lead 7-0. As we're in the top of the seventh, Coker down to 3 outs. And strike number 1 to Stunis as the count goes to 1-1. Struck out in her previous 2 at-bats, as have a number of hitters for Coker. Lauren Rakes, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 13 strikeouts, no walks either. And there's strike number 2. So the reigning National Pitcher of the Week, that train is still rolling here for Lauren Rakes. And there's ball 2. Of course, not over yet, but it would take a amazing turn. Disappointing one as well if the Bears weren't able to wrap this up. Ball's inside. Count goes to 3-2. And really not even many 3-ball counts for Lauren today. That may be the 4th one. I don't know for sure, but there haven't been many. Hasn't walked a batter. So hopefully can keep that going here as well. 3-2 the count. And spoke too soon. Brooklyn Stunis reaches on a walk. Lauren Rakes' first one of the day. And Bailey Douglas will step in. I'm sure they haven't had them lineup change. Have not. Douglas flied out to left in the first, struck out in the 4th. So she's coming to the plate with nobody out. And Brooklyn Stunis on first. And here's the pitch. There's strike number 1 from Rakes. Bears trying to wrap this one up. South Atlantic Conference opener, game 2 to follow. About 20 minutes probably after game 1. And here's the pitch. And that's strike number 2. Douglas looked like she wanted to go, held back, and the ball's a strike anyway. And Rakes quickly ahead 0-2. Only 2 base runners today so far for Coker. Hopefully we'll leave it at that. And that ball's low. Count goes to 1-2. Single back in the 5th by Kayla Oswell. And the walk here to lead off the 7th to Brooklyn Stunis. And that's it. And foul back here. Count remains 1-2. Kind of a defensive swing for Douglas, but may have been a ball. She couldn't gamble, though. And steps in. Scary lineup for Coker, but Lauren Rakes has kept them in check today. There's ball number 2. Maybe a little bit of fatigue showing. Lauren. And there's strike number 3. Strikeout number 14 for Lauren Rakes. As Kayla Oswell, who has Coker's only hit today, steps in. Brooklyn Stunis stands at first. She walked to lead off the inning. 1 out now. And Oswell, we'll see if she can get something going for Coker. Swings and foul, tips that back to the fence. Lenoir-Rhyne gets the ball back to Rakes. And here's a pitch from Lauren. And ball low. 1-1 to count. Bears lead 7-0. Trying to wrap up their 14th win in 15 games. And high. Count goes to 2-1. Bears got off to a slow start and a tough trip to Florida there back in early February. but have played very, very well since. Only loss in the last 3 weeks or so. A 6-5 loss to Kutztown State in a tournament down at Francis Marion last weekend. Bears beat Kutztown in the opener of that, 5-3. Kutztown got them on Sunday, 6-5, and that's it over the last 14 games. 3-1 to count now. And that's high, back-to-back walks for Lauren Rakes. So, that a bit unusual based on what we've seen so far today. So, Coker with a runner in scoring position now. And only one out as Emily Kinley, Bears assistant and former player, heads out to the mound. And she'll chat with Lauren. I imagine Lauren just wants to get through this one. I'm sure she's frustrated. Hadn't walked about her all day, 2 this inning. And she's done quite a few pitches because she's thrown a whole lot of strikes. 6 1/3, 14 strikeouts so far. But a little bit of a threat here from Coker in the top of the 7th as Delaney Eves steps in. She struck out looking in the 2nd, to fly out to center field back in the 5th. But has a chance to get Coker on the board here in top of the 7th. And there's a strike from Lauren. She looked pretty determined on that pitch. Maybe she's decided that enough's enough here. And there's strike number 2. Not sure Eves liked that one, but pretty businesslike there. First couple of pitches to this batter from Lauren Rakes. And there's strike number 3 right down the middle. And, well, that visit to the mound must have gone well. Lauren didn't really fool around after we got back at it. There's going to be a pinch hitter for Coker. Let's see if I can pick out who this is. Looks like it might be Kelsey Scott, sophomore from Gold Hill, North Carolina. And she will, in fact, step in to bat for Ariana Fair. Played a very solid second base for Coker today. Made all routine plays and will cede her place in the batting order, at least at this point, to Kelsey Scott. And there's strike number 2. So 1 strike away now from a 1-hit shutout for Lauren Rakes. And a little slap shot by Scott. She stays alive. 0-2 count. 15 strikeouts for Lauren Rakes, and she's ahead to count here 0-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Bears right there, getting their first South Atlantic Conference win. And, no, boy, that was just foul. That might have been a run. It was in an excellent spot, but just went foul for Scott as she pinch hits for Ariana Fair. Still 0-2 the count. 2 outs here. Here's a pitch from Rakes. And that's low. Ball 1. Lauren steps in now. Checks the wristband. Here's the pitch. And there's strike 3. So, nice way to wrap it up for Lauren Rakes as she strikes out the side here in the top of the 7th. And the Bears take game 1 of this doubleheader 7-0 as they win their South Atlantic Conference opener here in the 2022 season. So, Bears 7-0. Lauren Rakes, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 16 strikeouts. just, I'm not sure what to say, really, other than that is pretty outstanding coming from the National Pitcher of the Week from last week. So Bears take a 7-0 win here in Game 1 of our doubleheader against Coker. We'll probably take about a 20-minute break before the start of Game 2, and then we'll be back with you, thanks to Malik Ellis, who, as I've mentioned before, does all the difficult and important work. It allows me just to sit here and talk for those of you who know me. That is something I can do fairly well, whether you like it or not. All right, Bears a winner, 7-0. We'll be back in just a little bit with Game 2 of our doubleheader. Thanks for joining us. You've been listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing. And welcome back to Camps Lenoir-Rhyne University as we have just had the first pitch of Game 2 of our South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Bears hosting the Coker Cobras. Bears won Game 1, 7-0. Kelsey Scott leading off for the Cobras here in Game 2. Morgan Beeler on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne. So the pretty standard 1-2 punch of Rakes and Beeler taking a hill here to start the games. 2 balls now and a strike to Kelsey Scott. Beeler 5-4 in the year, 2.75 ERA. Base on balls has hurt her a little bit. Gets a ground ball to Rackard there, easy play. And one quick out here in the top of the first in Game 2. So we'll watch Morgan's control a little bit. 35 walks, I think, in 61 innings, something like that. Yeah. So if she can throw strikes, that would certainly help her cause. As Chloe Pelham steps in. Pelham was a leadoff hitter in Game 1. It's 0 for 3 as, I guess, 10 of the 11 batters in Game 1 went hitless as Lauren Rakes pitched a one-hit shutout with 16 strikeouts. And that's about all you need to say. Mardigan there, easy play, and quickly 2 outs on infield ground balls from Morgan Beeler, and Bailey Douglas will step in. South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams there in Game 1, so Bears now 1-0 in the league. Coker 0-1. Coker now 10-13 overall. Bears win their 14th out of 15. They stand at 16-6. And just off the glove of Linhart there. Ball had some nice motion to it. Actually thought it might have been a strike. Big curve. And Beeler looks in. Beeler Jr. from Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. That would be nice. And she throws a strike to Bailey Douglas. Pitched a lot of innings for us here, first couple of years and into this year. And here's the pitch. And ball 2. Quickly 2 outs here in top of the first of Game 2, South Atlantic Conference doubleheader against Coker. Bear baseball team also hosting Coker this weekend. And I believe, well, there's a shot to center, and Moorfield's going to get a one-hopper there, quickly get it in, and Bailey Douglas has the first hit of Game 2 here for Coker, only second hit of the day for the Cobras overall, as Kaylee Oswell steps in for the Cobras, playing first base here, as she did in Game 1. The lone hit for Coker in Game 1 came off the bat of Oswell. And there's strike 1. Mentioned prior to Game 1, this was kind of a strength-on-strength. The Coker bats against Lenoir-Rhyne pitching. Lenoir-Rhyne pitching won Game 1. And hopefully we can in Game 2. 2-1 to count now, looks like, to Oswell. Bailey Douglas at first. We're just getting going here. And there's a ball. Count now, I believe, is 3-1. The official board says 2-1. We'll see what happens here. And there's a swing. Strike 2. Bears looking to sweep a doubleheader here. And the count is, well, now he says 2-2. Thought he had said 2-1 previously, but. And there's a swing and a miss. Nice strikeout there for Morgan Beeler. And Coker gets a base runner on a 2-out single from Bailey Douglas, but Beeler shuts the door there with a strikeout to end the inning, and we'll go to the bottom of the first, scoreless. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found the expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And leading off the bottom of the first for the Bears, Savannah Moorfield, pretty familiar name there in the top of the order for Lenoir-Rhyne, became the all-time hits leader in Lenoir-Rhyne softball history with a leadoff single in game one and takes a strike here. Moorfield currently with a 22-game hitting streak, also a Lenoir-Rhyne record, so she's looking to extend that out to 23. As Callie Thornton is in the circle for Coker. Savannah, graduate student from Claudeville, Virginia. 3 for 4 in game one, scored a run, had an RBI. Solid as usual in center, and fouls one back here. Count goes to 1-2. Thornton, a freshman for Coker from Faison, North Carolina, North Duplin High School down east. Probably not far from Hartsville. Not sure how the map would look there. Ball's outside. Count goes to 2-2. And here's a pitch from Thornton. And that's just over the pitcher's head. And nice play there by shortstop Delaney Eves for the first out of the bottom of the first. And Caitlin Rackard will step in. She's been batting second for the Bears and will do so again here in game two. 0 for 2 in game one, but scored a run and had an RBI as well, reached on an error. And back in the first inning of game one, see how she does here. Squares to bunt, and that's strike number one. Well, okay, it's not strike number one. Didn't look like she pulled the bat back, but that is a ball for the freshman shortstop for Lenoir-Rhyne, Caitlin Rackard. Oh, and boy, that's off the top of the helmet. And if I remember right, she got hit in game one. Well, that went way up in the air, too. Let's hope she's okay. She did get hit by a pitch in the calf back in game one. She's down on her knees. Head coach Sheena Holler talking with her, along with Lenoir-Rhyne athletic trainer. Can't see who that is. Bit of a scary moment here for Caitlin Rackard for sure. And I'm sure her parents. The crowd's pretty quiet here. Just got away from Thornton. She's going to walk towards first. And seems like she's going to be okay. I'm sure it startled her. And a nice advertisement for wearing a helmet. Looks like Caitlin's all right. Well, maybe they're going to pinch run for her. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe they're just giving her a few minutes to kind of get collected. So a little bit of a unnerving start here. And yes, there will be a pinch runner. I need to kind of see who that's going to be. Looks like it might be Madison Jackson. Is that number 14? Yes, looks like Madison Jackson. Freshman from Gibson, North Carolina. I guess not Gibsonville. That's one of my old home places back in pre-elementary school. So Madison Jackson is going to pinch run for Caitlin Rackard. We'll see if Rackard comes back in the game. Her heads back out to shortstop in the top half of the second. Hopefully she's okay. So Bears have a base runner as Cassidy Wall steps in. And quickly ball 2 on Cassidy. Wall 1 for 3 in game 1. Had a sac fly, RBI, and scored a run. So she had a pretty good start to the afternoon. And swinging a miss here, though. And count goes to 2-1. So Lenoir-Rhyne with an early base runner. Coker had one on in the top of the first, and Morgan Beeler was able to shut that down pretty quickly. We'll see how the Bears do here with a runner on the bottom half. And that's